Race family, I'm gonna hand this camera over to my little sweetheart who's gonna help us film. Go ahead, Chi-Chi. We just got to Bradenton Motorsports Park for the track rental. Film, Papa? Film up here? Film Papa's face? We just got to Bradenton. I got my friend Dell here. He lives in Bradenton. He came over to help. My buddy Robert. We're getting the Supra ready to make some passes, baby. I got my little one filming so we can get stuff done.
Hi, Dell.
Hey, baby girl.
Hi, Whoopie.
Hi.
Race family. We're getting the Supra ready with Dell and Whoopie and Papa and Leilani.
Yep.
Hi.
Hey, baby girl.
Just roll with this thing on?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try and aim it this way. Try and close it with your fingertips around the tip there.
All right, guys, we're ready for the first shakedown pass. For this pass, we got the boost turned down, the nitrous turning off early. Everything is very soft. Today on the dyno, we got the car to run really clean, but we were adding a lot more fuel. So Lance was unsure if the injectors maybe were dirty, so Dell helped me clean the injectors out. Dell, my buddy Robert, we went through them. We're gonna give the car maybe an 1/8 mile rip, a lift, maybe shortly after the 8th mile, shortly after going into third gear, just to see, pull the data log and see how the car did on fuel. Okay, let me turn the ignition off. Oh, the batteries are perfect. 12.6. I got the fans running and I got my bottle heater going. So I thought it was maybe too much for the battery, but she's hanging in there. So we're gonna make a quick rip, see how it does. I'll come back, pull the logs. If the car is rich, then in fact the injectors were dirty, and I can go back to the tune-ups that I had prior to today, adding a bunch of fuel, and then really crank the power up. So let's see how this pass goes. Let me get up there, it's kind of late. This rental was from 4 to 10, is already 8 and change. I haven't made one pass. All right, let's do it. I got this camera recording. Floor feels crazy sticky. Here we go. Say I want to lift up the 8th, so hard. That was a 117 60 foot, the best this car's ever done, and we were significantly down on power. I shouldn't have pulled the chute, now that's extra time, but it felt like it was freaking going quick. We only have about another hour worth of the rental, now I gotta pack a chute. What was that?
759 at 181.
Wow. Felt fast.
I could smell it's running rich. Yeah.
Really?
I can smell it.
Okay, let's pull the logs now. It felt strong. It went on 117 to the 60 foot. That was the best it's ever done.
No.
Down on power, 117. Yeah. All right, guys, we're getting a quick plug reading. We haven't even seen the ticket. We have to download a Bradenton Motorsports app. We'll look at it now together. We have to download a Bradenton Motorsports app to get the ticket, but we just went a 7. These guys are telling me a 759 at 181 miles an hour at 40 pounds of boost. I ran those exact numbers at Florida 2K. For me to go a 750 anything at Florida 2K, I was running like 54, 55 pounds of boost and nitrous like all of first gear for the most part. Where now I ran nitrous for, I'll see it in the logs, but me turning it off at 36 pounds of boost, that's maybe like 0.3 of a second. Like just get me going, turn off, and just 40 pounds of boost went a 759. That is crazy. So that gasket leak was definitely making a huge difference. But now we're running a lot more duty cycle than we were running at Florida 2K. So I'm not sure how much more power I'll be able to add on top. So we'll see. But the car also went a 117 to the 60 foot. Best it's ever 60 foot, so we're happy with that. We're doing the plug read, we're doing the shoot. Let's make it happen. That's probably the troubled one that we're looking for.
Sure.
That tight, huh?
That's perfect. Yeah, that's too tight.
Might just dump some WD-40 in there. Get WD-40. Hold this.
Alright, give it a second though. I've never had that happen.
I just tightened it up. Alright, shine me up.
That's it, Robert. Don't go too crazy. Just give it a second.
Let's just crack it a little bit just so it gets a spot to go in there. Well, it's coming out. It's not breaking the threads yet. It doesn't look like it.
You heard that?
We cracked the top of the plug. It's okay. That's just the top of it. It's just that plug is gone. It's like you ain't reusing that plug.
Alright guys, car is back on the trailer. Not what we wanted, but everything happens for a reason, man. The car today, I'll review the logs with you guys in a little bit. I put my computer inside the motorhome, but we ran nitrous for 0.3 of a second. So barely used the spray. I mean, we went a 117 to the 60 foot, so 0.3, like barely into even the 60 foot, the spray was already off. And we ran 40 pounds down track. Today the car made like 1180 at like 39 something pounds. It was holding like 42 pounds down track. So call it 1250 wheel. At 1250 wheel, we went a 759 at 181 and change miles an hour. A 490 to the 60 foot. I hadn't ran the car with this little boost in a very long time. And it ran incredible. I was just sharing with my buddies as I was going down track. I remember thinking like, man, I don't think this thing is 40 pounds of boost. Like something went wrong, the nitrous is still on. Like this thing is running way too aggressive. But as I looked through the logs, sure enough, the spray turned off early. The boost was down. It was a really safe and soft run. However, I had Lance on the phone and Lance asked me to pull the plugs to check them. And as we did that, we're reviewing the plugs. The last cylinder, cylinder 6, was struggling to come out and the threads got kind of damaged. And I don't have any more plugs. I tried buying some, but my local race shop didn't have any in stock. So I don't have any extra plugs to throw in there. And I want to take my time to clean the threads. The car, we cleaned the injectors as soon as we got here. You guys would have briefly seen us doing that. And the car was still demanding a lot of fuel. So maybe fuel pressure is good. So I don't think it's a filter or the pumps, but something's happening. I don't think that the gasket issue that I showed you guys earlier today, I don't think that alone should demand this much more fuel. So I want to take my time to review the fuel. I want to take my time to clean out that cylinder head. The car's been running fairly low oil pressure for quite some time now. I've never had an oil pressure gauge, but since I put one, I haven't loved the numbers. So there's a few things with the car that I want to fix and correct and just keep making better. My goal today of going to 7.1 something was my goal at over 190 miles an hour. I really do feel like the car could do it, and after seeing what it did today, I feel like it could do it with ease. I know that's kind of a big statement, but man, the car just continues to impress me. But it's very likely that instead of just kind of rushing things now and kind of just patching it up and getting back out here, let's see how I feel tomorrow morning. Let me sleep on this, but I think I want to pull the motor. I think I want to pull the motor. Jay and I have been talking about looking at it because we've been seeing low oil pressure, but every time I open an oil filter, the freaking oil filter's clean. But maybe just checking the bearings, kind of just looking through it briefly. I want to make some changes to my fuel system, like my fuel lines. I'm running a -10 line to the front, and the big Weldon pump that I run has a 12 in, 12 out, and I reduced it to a 10. I have Weldon fuel filters that are -12s, and I'm running -10s reducers on there. That's kind of silly. I mean, where we're heading with this car and what the car's already doing, I shouldn't be doing that. So I want to definitely run a -12 feed to the front. I want to rework my fuel surge tank. I got many ideas. Again, you guys know me. I've had this car for 10 years, and I've little by little inched it to where it is. I've never made any drastic changes. I'm so happy with how good the car is running. I'm gonna make just the proper changes just to make it that much more reliable, that much more faster, aggressive. Man, I love this car to death. I should be showing you guys the car instead of showing myself. But I love this car. I really was coming out here today, really fired up to run it 3 times. It was my goal, 2-3 times, and really lean on it hard. The weather was nice here today, and I was convinced we were gonna run really good numbers, but it is what it is. Let's see, once we get, I'm gonna spend the night here today at Bradenton. I'll get back into my town. I live 3 hours away. I'll get back into town tomorrow, and let's see what we do. But yeah, it's very likely I pull the motor and I thoroughly go through it with Real Street Performance. Let's see.